Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Merton. Does anyone remember that period on American television about 10, 15 years ago when you could only be a private detective if you were disabled? A Man Called Ironside was the first one. That was realistic, wasn't it? Bloke in a wheelchair on the homicide squad. Gets a call to chase a suspect. 10 minutes to get the chair down the stairs. Then there was Longstreet. He was the blind detective. Not too good at the old car chases, Longstreet. I think without a doubt my favourite one was Frank Cannon, the huge detective. 50 stone of solid fat. I used to watch that programme every week, not because he was a good detective. I was fascinated by the fact he could actually walk. I remember seeing a 2-hour special of Cannon trying to get out of an armchair. And at the end of every single Cannon episode, he had to chase the suspect. And he'd catch him, even though the suspect was 15 years younger, 45 stone lighter, and in a car. You had these endless shots of Frank Cannon running down the street. It wasn't him, it was 3 stuntmen in a suit. And sometimes this huge bloke would do undercover work. He would disguise himself by putting a hat on. Nobody recognised him. They probably thought he was a mountain wearing a trilby or something. When you used to watch these programmes a lot like Kojak and stuff, they sort of bung on a sort of like arty-sounding subtitle to make you think it's Shakespeare, you know. It'd be Kojak, this week's episode, Requiem for a Street Angel. And the first thing you see is a bloke bouncing off the roof of a Volkswagen, which I think's in Richard III. And they'd have this plot line where, like, a bloke get out of a car in the middle of nowhere, he's shot in the back, he's dead, the police are baffled, they haven't got a clue. Until into the police station walks this amateur cameraman who's caught the entire incident on film. It's his hobby, filming people getting in and out of cars. Imagine living with a bloke like that. And he shows this film to the police and they watch it for 3 or 4 days just looking for clues until suddenly one of them says, "Hey, roll that back a few frames." He says to the projectionist behind him, he says, "Can we just enlarge that little bit there? Just there, that bit, which is impossible." And the projectionist says, "Sure." He's only been doing a job a week, he doesn't know it's impossible. And they enlarge it, and there's a bloke standing there with a machine gun. Not noticed him before. Oh, I thought that was a pigeon. I wonder why a pigeon was wearing battle dress. Then every couple of weeks, like the superior detective, the sort of fat one, says to the main detective, has a little speech, he says, "You're getting too close to this case, Jim. I've got the DA's office on my back." What does that mean? I've got a bus station in my pocket. There's a chicken farm down my trousers. He said, "You can stay on the case, but you've only got 48 hours. Why? Why is it always 48 hours? What happens if the next day's a bank holiday? And can you, like, split the 48 hours up? You know, I do 2 hours Wednesday, 4 hours Friday, flexi time. You come to the end of these programmes where you have the obligatory car chase each and every week. You've got 2 cars doing 80 miles an hour through the city centre. This is assuming they've managed to avoid Longstreet making his way home, you know. Parked up there, look. And... no, I haven't got time. And then... you know, have we got enough petrol to drive round Cannon, that sort of thing, you know. Here comes Ironside in the fast lane. On his way to investigate a murder that happened in 1963. 2 cars doing 80 miles an hour through the city centre. Suddenly, in between them, a lorry reverses out of a side street. Every week. Now, why is this? Is it because the lorry drivers in America are particularly thick? Do they sit parked in side streets all day, not daring to move? until they hear the sound of screaming car tyres and think to themselves, oh, well, better reverse, I suppose. Then there's the pile of empty cardboard boxes. I do have a reputation of being a sort of topical comedian, and during the Blitz, the Second World War, my dad used to say, don't worry about the bombs. The only bombs you've got to worry about, the ones that have got your names written on them. That really scared the next-door neighbours, Mr. and Mrs. Doodlebug. Please, Paul Merton, thanks very much and good night. Thank you.